Everyone. Good to see you all again today. All right. Well, today is our first mental health on the mat class for October. And for the month of October, we are working on the theme of somatic tools and somatic releasing. So let's just go ahead and start by getting set up for the day, whatever you need to do. So take your shoes off if you are sitting at your desk at work. And you're able to do so, maybe scoot yourself a little bit away from your desk so that you have some space. We'll start with a body scan meditation for today. So find yourself in a comfortable seat, in a comfortable place, laying on your mat, or if you want to, you can stand and walk around for this meditation. My name is Kelsey Wyman, and I'm a mental health therapist in Washington State. I provide a lot of somatic therapy. And even though this class isn't therapy, I'm also a yoga teacher, and we'll just kind of like infuse some mental health tools and somatic tools in today's class. So finding this comfortable spot, finding this comfortable seat, this comfortable standing or laying down position. And as always, just begin to tune to your breath and tune to the rhythm that is naturally happening without any judgment, letting your body breathe the way that it wants to breathe, letting your body show up the way it wants to show up. A lot of things can come up as we begin to focus on our bodies and build awareness of what is happening in our bodies. So if it is at any point too much for you today, you can shift your awareness from your internal experience to things that are happening around you. And you can do that by opening your eyes, looking at a color around you, say the color green, and look for everything that is the color green around you. Or you can listen to the sounds that are around you. Whatever you need to do to make that experience happening in your body, something that's more manageable or a little bit more distant so that you can come back to comfort and calm. If you are wanting to explore this idea of connection with the body today, you can just begin again with your breath, noticing that rise and fall, that expansion of your belly and your lungs, that sinking in, dropping down. One of my favorite tools, somatic tools, is the physiological sigh. So we'll practice that many times throughout today, but just to teach it in the beginning here, you're going to let all of your air out of your breath, out of your body, and breathe into your body as much as you can, breathing into your belly, into your lungs, into your chest. And when you feel like you can't fit any more air inside your lungs, take one more sip of breath in and exhale, sigh it out, let everything go. Let's try that again. Breathing in as much as you can. Take one more big sip of air and sigh it out, let everything go. For our body scan today, you can let this awareness of your breath drift off into the background and begin to be aware of any sensations that are happening around your face or your head, the top of your head, with your hair. Just noticing with a neutral sense what's going on with your face. You're invited to relax any bits of tension that you notice, but there's no need to. They can stay exactly as they are. Let your awareness drift down to your neck and your shoulders. Again, no need to change anything or correct your posture. Just building the practice of awareness right now. And And as your awareness expands, see if you can begin to notice in this area of your chest if there are any temperatures here, any cool sensations, any warm sensations, any neutral sensations. Let your awareness expand and deepen and start to spread down your arms on each side. And as you do this, begin to notice if you feel any tension or any tingling. Any desire for movement or desire for stillness. Coming back to your upper chest, begin to spread your awareness down to your diaphragm, to your stomach. Since it's lunchtime, maybe just noticing any sensations of fullness or emptiness that might be happening in your body. Again, spreading your awareness down, this time to your hips and your sit bones, wherever you're making contact, if you're seated or laying down. Noticing any sensations that are here, and again, following this thread of beginning to notice the opposites. Is there anything cool or warm, tense or relaxed, empty or full? And spreading this awareness down, seeing how your legs are doing. Are they feeling heavy or light? Maybe itchy or calm? Bringing this awareness down yet again to your feet. To bring in one of our mental health tools for the day, we're going to focus on these opposites using a focusing technique by Eugene Genlin to build awareness of our felt sense. This is the part of our system, the part of our body that knows something maybe before our mind knows it, the inherent wisdom of our body. So picking any two opposing sensations, maybe cool and hot, maybe tense and relaxed, maybe open, maybe closed, and choosing one of those sensations to feel and find and focus on in your body first. And when you find that place, one spot in your body that is feeling a sensation, go ahead and place one of your hands on that part of your body. You're invited to notice what it feels like, the touching on your fingertips, and to notice what it feels like, that touching on your body. 2 points of contact, noticing each other. Focus on that sensation, that hot feeling or cold feeling, that tense feeling or relaxed feeling. And breathe into it and let it stay exactly as it is. The invitation, if you want to bring in the cognitive, is to ask it what it knows or what it wants to say to you. And you can take some time to listen for an answer, or you can sit in silence and just notice the contact between these two parts of your body. Begin to scan your body again, spreading that awareness, keeping your hand in the same spot. And this time, search your body for the opposing sensation, the opposite sensation. If you chose cold, try and find somewhere in your body that feels warm or hot. When you find that part of your body, go ahead and place your other hand there. And again, begin by noticing contact on contact. What does this part of your body feel like underneath your fingers? What does it feel like to have your fingers pressing up against this part of your body? Invitation to ask it what it knows, what it wants to say, and space to listen or just experience the silence. Now we're going to add in pendulation. If you want, you can sway your body side to side, or just with your mind, you can sway your awareness back and forth between these two spots of your body. Noticing the first hand, noticing the second hand, noticing the warm spot, noticing the cool spot, noticing the tense area, noticing the area that is relaxed. Just swaying back and forth, bringing your awareness back and forth. Pendulation is an important tool to help us find equilibrium in our system. It can be possible that we feel gut-wrenchingly awful and also joyful at the same time. We can feel both hot and cold, tense and relaxed. And by broadening our awareness to allow the sensation of both of those into our brains, we build that neural pathway for interconnectedness and equilibrium. When your mind has a good grasp, your sensations have a good grasp on that pendulation, you can release your hands, continue the pendulation in your mind, and then eventually release that pendulation from your mind as well. We're going to move into our seated flow for today. But before we do that, let's integrate this experience by taking another physiological sigh. So breathing in all the way, expanding as much as you can. Sucking in one more breath of air and sighing, letting everything out. Beautiful. If you're at your desk and you haven't done so yet, you can scoot back. Give yourself a little bit more space. Let's inhale both of our arms up to the sky. Interlace our fingers, turn our palms to the sky, and continue to reach up, up, up. Creating length in our spine. And exhaling, keeping our fingers interlaced, leaning to the left side. Inhaling back up to center, exhaling, leaning to the right side. Arms stay straight, fingers interlaced. Inhaling back to center, dropping both your arms down into your lap. Let's begin some upper body circles. You choose, listen to your body. Do you want to lead with your head? Do you want to lead with your chest? Maybe you want to lead with your elbows. Switching opposite directions here. Maybe pulling your head in the opposite direction of where you're spinning. Making your movements a little bit smaller, and coming to stillness. Go ahead and reach both your feet out in front of you, coming to the edge of your seat. Make sure you don't fall off the edge of your seat. Pick your left ankle up and cross it over your right ankle. Inhale your arms up, and just so you don't fall out of your seat, you can plant your hands on your thighs as you walk your way forward, coming into a seated forward fold. Hands can stay on your ankles, knees, or thighs to help support you here. Inhaling, come back up to center. Let's switch out our feet, right ankle over left this time. Inhale our arms up to create length in our spine. Exhaling, walking our hands down our legs for a forward fold. Coming back up to center. Go ahead and place your feet as wide as they want to be, where you're still comfortable in your seat and in your chair. Inhale those arms up again, creating that space. We're going to exhale, widen our arms to the side, reaching eventually up with our left hand, down towards our left foot with our right hand, creating a nice twist here. Gaze is going to be up towards your left hand or towards the sky. Engage your core as you pull yourself back up, straightening your center, reaching wide in opposite directions. Exhaling, left hand down to your right foot, right hand towards the sky. Gaze follows that right hand. And back up through center. Beautiful. Go ahead, open that chest. Imagine that string behind your hands, pulling your hands together. And exhaling, releasing both of those hands. Walk your feet back together in front of you. You can stretch both of your legs out, still on that edge of your seat, pointing and flexing your toes. It's not really able to be seen in the camera, but go ahead and point and flex those toes to create some movement in your ankles. When your feet naturally come to stillness and you've gotten all the stretches out, go ahead and bring your left knee up to your chest. Interlace your fingers around that left knee, still creating length from your tailbone to the crown of your head, pulling that left knee closer towards your chest. And when you feel like that left knee can't get any closer, then go ahead and exhale, round your spine down, tuck your chin, tuck your forehead towards that knee. Beautiful. All right, create length in your spine again. Your leg is still up. Go ahead and release your grip with your left hand. Your left hand is going to come out to the side, reaching towards the back as your gaze follows. Your right hand is going to gently pull your upper body to create a twist, as if you're pulling your left knee across over to the right side. And exhale, untwist, plant that left foot back down on the floor. Go ahead and move through some ankle movements again, pedaling your feet out. And begin to lift that right knee up towards your chest. Interlace your fingers around that right knee, creating length in your vertebrae, in your spine, pulling that right knee close, close, close to your chest. Beautiful. Keeping that knee up close to your chest, let go with your right hand. Left hand is going to pull it over to the left side, opening through the right side of the body as you bring your right hand back. Gaze over your right shoulder. Exhaling, untwisting. Go ahead and plant that leg back down. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, drop your arms behind you. I'll move to the side so you can see. Interlace your fingers if they reach behind you. If not, you can hold them out to the side. If you have a strap, you can use a strap in between your hands. If your fingers do reach in or interlace, see if you can rotate your palms down to the ground. Imagining keeping your arms straight, opening through your chest as you slowly lift up your arms. Exhale and release that. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a hug. I know I teach this tool a lot in class, but our mind doesn't really know the difference between when we're hugging ourselves and we're hugging someone else. So it's always a great somatic tool whenever you feel like you need a hug. Beautiful. Go ahead and release those arms down. We're going to add in some breathing today and some pendulation. Begin by finding stillness in your body, tuning into your breath, letting the movement first come from the rise and fall of your rib cage, then the opening, expanding, and contracting of your belly. And then let's add in our hands, palms up, arms lifting as we inhale, palms down, arms floating down as we exhale. Inhaling, lifting those arms. Exhaling, letting those arms float down. Inhaling, lifting those arms. Exhaling, letting those arms down. Inhaling, see if you can lengthen your inhale by lengthening how far up your arms reach. Lengthen your exhale by lengthening how far down your arms reach. Follow your own breath, your own pace. Really tune and listen to what's happening to your own body here. On your next inhale, begin to lift your left leg up with your arms. Set it back down as you continue your downward movement on your exhale. On your next inhale, lifting your right leg up as well. Exhaling, planting that right leg down, sending your arms down, your breath down. Beautiful. One last time. And exhale everything out. You can shake your hands, shake out your feet. Great. If you need to get off the call because it's the end of your lunch break, you only had a 30-minute lunch break, you can go ahead and do that. If you're going to stay on the call and join us for our standing flow, you can make sure any chair or anything you've been sitting on is pushed aside. We're going to meet all together in the middle of our mat. All right, let's inhale both our arms up, interlace our fingers at the top, palms to the sky. This time when we exhale, let's drop our left hand, right arm reaching over to the left side. Inhaling up to the top. Interlace those fingers, reaching up. Exhale, separate your hands. Right hand goes down to your thigh. Left hand up and over. Inhaling both arms up, exhaling. And this time we're going to add in some hip circles. You can make these as big or as little as you want. You can have your hands on your hips or down by the sides, creating some movement in your core here. You can lead with your hips, you can lead with your knees, warming up that spine. Great. Go ahead and let your center be still. Wiggle your feet out a little ways to each side. We're going to begin by twisting our upper body, starting with the shoulders, letting the shoulders guide your movement. Your arms can flop around and just follow. Start making these movements a little bit bigger. Twisting now also with your hips, making them even bigger still, picking up your back heel as you twist around. You may notice your hands hitting your body, and again, you can just begin to build that body awareness. What does it feel like to have your hands hit your hips or your stomach? What does it feel like to have your hips pressing against your hands when they make contact? Go ahead and slow down your movements. Interlace your fingers behind you. Again, they can be reached out to the side if needed. Open through your chest, lift those hands up. And exhale, release it down. We'll be using a variation of sun salutation as our repeated flow for the day. So let's go ahead and come to the top of our mat so we can practice it a few times. From the top of your mat, entering into mountain pose, joints stacked on top of each other, creating length through the crown of your head, palms to the front, chin parallel to the earth. Inhale your arms up. Hands clasped together, reach those hands back, creating a tiny back bend in your upper back, but not dumping any weight into your lower back. Exhale, forward fold, reach for your toes. Interlace your hands around your opposite elbows. Take a moment just to hang here. Let's see if we can add in a physiological sigh here. Breathe in as much as you can. One big breath. One tiny more sip of air. Exhale, let everything go. Release your grip on your elbows. Inhale, halfway lift, creating length from the crown of the head through the spine. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat in between both of your feet. Step your right foot back long, coming into a lunge pose on the left side. You have the option to stay here to create strength or to place your back knee down, lowering your hips, creating more stretch. Listening to your body. Do you want strength or stretch today? Picking up that back knee if it's lifted, bringing your left foot to join your right, coming into plank pose. Slowly lowering yourself down onto the mat with your arms. Untuck your toes, squeeze your legs together, glutes together. Lift your chin to the sky, chest to the sky, coming into cobra. You can pick up your fingertips, tap them on the mat beside you. None of your weight, none of the pressing coming from your hands. Exhale, down onto the mat. Tuck those toes. Press up through tabletop, bringing your hips to the sky. Restructuring your stance if needed. We're moving into downward dog. Take a breath here. See if you can press your shoulders farther away from your hips. Add in some movement. You can lift your heels, pedal out your feet. And when you're ready, send your right leg forward to the outside of your right hand, coming into a lunge on the opposite side. Again, you have the option to stay here to build strength or to drop that knee down to create more stretch in your hips. Straightening through that left leg. You can hop, float, skip, whatever you need to do. Can be many little hops, bringing that left foot to the front of your mat, meeting your right foot, hanging here for a moment in our forward fold before rolling up through your spine, letting your head be the last thing that rolls you up into mountain pose. Let's move through that one more time, a little bit faster so our body starts to build awareness of what's happening. You can always choose to pause in child's pose if you need to. Inhaling those arms up, hands clasped, leaning back, creating that little back bend. Exhaling into forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, hands on your shins or knees. Exhaling, plant your hands on the mat in between your feet as you bring your right leg back into our lunge. Send your left leg back to meet your right, coming into plank pose. Slowly lower down to your mat before lifting up in cobra. Exhaling back down to the mat, tucking those toes behind you, pressing up into downward dog. Pausing for just a moment before sending your right foot forward on the outside of your right hand. Back in our lunge. Shifting your weight forward, picking up that back left foot, bringing it to the front of your mat, and rolling back up into mountain pose. Beautiful. We're going to use that to reset our nervous system several times today. But for now, let's come to the middle of our mats. From here, ground down through the four corners of your feet. We're going to practice a balancing pose, but make sure you're set with both of your legs first. When you're ready, feel which side wants to come up first. For me, it's my right side. So I'm going to pick up my right foot. First, just tapping it on the ground. And when I'm ready, bringing that knee in front of me, interlacing my fingers around my knee, and gently pulling my knee towards my chest as I create length from my tailbone through the crown of my head. Just like we did when we were seated, but now we're also balancing. All right, let's release that foot. Let our right leg, if that's the one you chose, swing a little bit. See how different balance is when you're moving. And then let it find its place on the mat. Shift your weight to the opposite side. Begin to tap your toes, lifting that foot. And when it's ready, when you found that balance point, lift your knee in front of you, interlace your fingers around that knee. Create length in your spine before pulling your knee to your chest. Great job, everyone. Okay, go ahead and put that leg down. Let it swing a little bit. And then plant it back on the mat. Shifting your weight between feet, adding a little bit of a sway, a little bit of a swing here. And then grounding down through both of your feet. Shift your weight back again to the side it was on the first time. Tap those toes, raise your knee, interlace your fingers around that knee. This time, hang on with your opposite level, opposite hand. So I'll cue for the one that I'm doing. So my right knee is lifted. My left hand is going to stay on my right knee. My right hand is going to open towards the back of the room as my gaze follows. My left hand is slowly going to pull my right knee over to the left side. Great. Let's undo. Losing my balance there. Let's untwist. Plant that leg back down. Before we shift our weight, we're going to pick this leg back up. So picking up that same right leg. This time, take your left hand and place it on the ankle or below on the bottom of the foot there. Same type of thing. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see. Listening, really listening to your body, how much it wants to go into this pose right now. Begin to kick into your hand. Your pose might end up looking like this, where your knee is significantly bent. Your body might want more stretch, so you can straighten that leg. Whatever part of this pose, whatever extension, it's important that you listen to your body. All right, go ahead and untwist. Let's try this on the opposite side. Picking up your left knee. First, interlacing both fingers around that knee. Hanging on with your right hand, your left hand is going to go back. Untwisting to reset, seeing if you need to adjust anything in your balance. Picking up that same knee. Right hand is going to go under your left foot or around your left ankle as you begin to kick into that hand. Again, your knee might stay pretty bent, might straighten. Beautiful. Go ahead, unwind, release everything. Let's reset at the top of our mats. Inhaling both arms up, clasping them together, creating a little bit of that back bend before exhaling into your forward fold. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhaling, plant your hands on the mat in between your feet. Send your right foot back to our left lunge. Send your left foot back to meet your right, coming into plank, lowering all the way down onto the mat. Inhaling your upper body up for cobra. Exhaling back down to the mat. Tucking those toes, pressing those hips up to the sky, coming into downward dog. Sending that right leg forward to the outside of your right hand. It's okay if you need to adjust your feet or adjust your hands. Shift your weight forward to that right leg as you begin to pick up your left leg to bring it to the top of your mat. Slowly roll up through your spine. Coming again into mountain pose. Let's take one more physiological sigh here. Breathe in all the way. Take in one more sip of air. Exhale, sigh it all out, let it all out. With your left leg, step back in your mat, turn your toes to the long side of your mat so that you have a wide stance facing the long side of your mat. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, reach wide to the left and right side. Gaze stays forward. Keeping a flat back, length between the crown of your head and your tailbone. Begin to hinge at your hips as you fold forward. And when you can't fold anymore, you can exhale your hands down to the mat or interlace your hands around opposite elbows. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to sink down one more time. Go ahead and take your hands on the mat and walk them both over to the left side, creating some stretch in the right side of your body. Wherever your left hand lands is perfect. But if it touches your ankle or somewhere on the mat, find a place where it can be secure. We're going to shift our weight as we open through the front side of our body, bringing our right hand to the sky. Left hand stays on that ankle or on the mat, coming into triangle pose. Keeping this arm lifted, we're going to turn our left foot towards the short side of the mat. Begin to bend in that left leg. Arms are still in the same position here. You can use your left hand on your foot, ankle, or even put your elbow on your knee to support you. Inhale to continue reaching up with that right hand. Exhale, send it overhead, creating a long line between your right foot and your right hand. Let your right hand come down. Shift your weight to lift your back heel. We're going to inhale our upper body up, squaring our hips to the short side of our mat as we raise our hands, coming into crescent pose. Exhaling, dropping that back heel down, spreading our arms wide to the side, gaze following your front hand in warrior two. If your legs are a little sore, you can always straighten that front leg here. If you're wanting more strength, sink down deeper. Take a breath. Exhale, release your arms. Turn both your feet towards that long side of your mat. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, arms out to the side, and then continue down again into our forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to sink down deeper. This time, we'll walk our hands to the right side. Let your right hand find some stability either on the mat, on your ankle. Let your left hand travel up to the sky, opening that front side of your body, coming into triangle pose. Finding length between both your hands. Shifting your front foot position so that it is pointed towards the short side of your mat. Beginning to bend that front knee, left hand still up towards the sky. You can leave your right hand down or bring your elbow to your right knee. Reach that left hand over in front of you, creating that long line between your left foot, left hand. Letting your left hand drop down as you shift your weight on your back foot, lifting that heel, rising up into crescent pose, arms to the sky, chin to the sky, chest to the sky. Drop that back heel down, reach both arms wide in opposite directions, gaze is towards that front hand. If your legs need a break, straighten out that front leg. If they're ready for more strength, drop down deeper. Take a breath. Exhale, drop your arms. Turn both your feet again towards the long side of your mat and heel toe your way back up to center. Let's reset our system and go through our sun salutation flow yet again. Meeting together at the top of our mat, inhaling our arms up, creating a little back bend before exhaling into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat. Right leg goes back, left leg lunge. Find balance in between your hands. Send that left leg back, lower down to the mat. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, back down to the mat. Tuck those toes. Raise those hips up into downward dog. Send your right leg forward to the outside of your right hand. Shift your weight forward. Begin to hop or glide that left leg to the front. Roll up with your spine. Coming into mountain pose. Let's meet again in the middle of our mat here. Practicing the same breathing technique that we were doing earlier. Inhale, lifting your arms. Exhale, lowering your arms. Letting your hands follow the rise and fall of your breath. Letting your hands follow your ribs, follow your lungs, follow your belly. Lengthening on the inhale, sending those arms higher. Lengthening on the exhale, sending those arms lower. Breathing at your own pace, in your own way. Adding in our feet, this time lifting just the heel on the left side. Exhaling everything back down. Inhaling, lifting just the heel on the right side. Exhaling everything back down. Inhaling, lifting your left foot, bending in the knee. Exhaling back down. Inhaling, lifting on the right side. Exhaling back down. This time, inhaling, lifting that left leg, planting your hands around that left knee, pulling that closer to your chest, and exhaling, releasing back down. Inhaling, this time on the right side, first reaching up at the top of your inhale, pulling that knee closer to your chest, and then back down. Same thing, left side. Same thing, right side. Beautiful. Now we're going to add in the whole flow that we learned earlier in today's class. So go ahead. When your left leg is lifted, put your right hand on the bottom. See how far it wants to reach out on that inhale. And exhale, send everything back down. Inhaling on the right side, raising your hands, raising that right knee. First, supporting your knee, placing your left hand onto that foot, reaching out. And back down, seeing how much you can do in one breath. Listening to your body. Maybe fully getting in the pose, reaching behind you. Maybe you're just stopping when your knee is lifted. Notice how different it is when my voice is guiding you into a pose versus when you're just listening to your body. and letting your body flow into a pose. Throughout this month of October, listening to your body more than you're listening to the sound of my voice is going to be the important thing here. You can even just imagine that the cues from my voice aren't really there, and you're just letting your body move the way it wants to move. Alrighty, go ahead and find some stillness. Let's move through our sun salutation one more time to reset our body. Inhaling both arms up to the sky, reaching back for that little back bend before folding forward into our forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, send your right foot back. Take a breath, send your left foot back. Lower down from plank pose. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale, send those hips to the sky, downward dog. Take a breath. Send your right leg forward. Shift your weight forward. Bring your left up to the top and roll up through your spine. Beautiful. Okay, let's come to a seat in the center of our mat. As we wind down from today's practice, we can reach both of our feet long in front of us. Inhale our arms up. Exhale, reach towards those toes. Coming back up to center. Create some space in between your feet, whatever distance feels good to you today. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Folding again into a forward fold. Walking your fingertips to the left side as far as they want to go. Then walking your fingertips to the right side, again as far as they want to go. Walking your fingertips back to center, coming back to a seated position. Let's make our way to lying on our backs on the mat. Taking any last movements your body wants to take, any last stretches, laying your feet long. And one more time, tuning to our breath and adding in some flowing movement. First, noticing the rise and fall of your rib cage and your belly. Adding in, maybe just bending at the elbows, flowing with your hands, lifting your hands higher, exhaling them back down to the mat, lifting your left knee and back down to the mat, your right knee and back down to the mat. Maybe lifting your whole left leg, both your arms, exhaling down to the mat. Repeating on the opposite side. And now adding in any intuitive movement that your body wants to do. How do you want to move on an inhale and stretch? How do you want to move on an inhale, exhale, and release? Great. And while you're doing this practice, see if you can tune back into those two sensations that you were focused on earlier today. Maybe hot and cold, maybe tense and relaxed. Pick whichever one you chose first. Find that sensation in your body. Maybe it's moved. Maybe it's in the same spot. Take one of your hands and invite it to be placed on that part of your body that feels that same sensation. The rest of your body can keep flowing with your inhale and exhale. As you begin to locate and notice that second sensation. When you find it, place your hand on that part of your body. Let the rest of your body come to stillness. And the invitation for your meditation, for your Shavasana today, is to build awareness of these two parts of your body, the hot and the cold, the tense and the relaxed, the open, the closed, whatever two sensations you're working with. To build that bridge of awareness between the two, to release your hands down to the mat and continue that awareness of that bridge. As always, Shavasana is a time where you can just lay here and think about nothing. My voice will guide you when it is time to come out. All right, if you're ready, you can wake up from Shavasana by taking another physiological sigh, breathing in all the way as much as you can, taking in one last little sip of air, exhaling, letting everything go, bringing some light into your eyes, bringing some movement into your fingers and toes. You can sit up, give yourself a hug or some hands at heart center to show yourself some gratitude for today's practice. I'm very excited to be working with somatic tools this month. Next week, we're going to be exploring the vagus nerve and learn some somatic tools for toning your vagus nerve, a lot of which I learned from my dad. So I hope to see you next week. Bye, everyone.